Subscribe and hit the bell icon to never miss an update from E-Times TV.
See, end of the day, everybody is doing it. What is the main game, Vicky? The main game, मुझे लगता है, being a part of so many reality shows is ratings. We have to get ratings. A very big singer of our country यही कह रहे थे कि बहुत सारे shows में वो pre-recorded गा रहे हैं. मैंने अपने career में क्या देखा था कि मैं जब भी acting की तरफ जाता था तो the singing would suffer. And जब मैं singing की तरफ जाता था, it's just I wasn't able to balance both. जैसे लोगों के चेहरे बदलते हैं, I feel like the Mouni that we knew or the person that we knew years back, it was a different face. And the new face you see, I don't know that person. So that's, to me, that's not Mouni Roy, that's somebody else. Or maybe that's a person that's also named Mouni Roy.
Amit Tandon, thank you so much for joining me on Telestars Talk. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you, Vicky. Nice to see you after long.
Same here. Let's start straight away. And
Sure.
I think the very first thing that I want to ask you is, because the Indian Idol has just ended a couple of weeks back, and you were a part of the first year. And in fact, I had a very long chat with some of the contestants from the first year, which comprised of Abhijit Sawant, Amit Sana, Prajakta Shukre, Aditi Paul, just a little before the finale. And we wanted to know their views on how the show has changed over years. What's your take on that?
So, I think everything, हर चीज evolve होती है. And I think evolution is, we as people evolve, so I think the show has to evolve. So for me, I think evolution is a part of everything. It's a part of life. And I guess reality shows का भी एक हिस्सा है, because अभी जो season 12 चल रहा है, initially when we were in season 1, I remember, one thing I distinctly remember, there was a big change, was that the judges never came on stage. Like, you know, abhi it's very common कि किसी के performance को लेके judge stage पे आ जाए, and they start dancing with them or they start interacting with them in a very personalized manner. तो उस वक्त ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता था. मतलब they'd be sitting in their seats, saying their comments, and that would be the end of it. Obviously, technically, things have advanced. The stage setup, the lighting setup, those are advanced as well. But मतलब maybe I'm being biased, but मुझे लगता है जो पहले season का जो charm था, वो अलग था. It was different because it was also very novel. But मुझे लगता था कि उस season में बहुत अलग किस्म के लोग थे, which I feel like, and हम, although थोड़ा बहुत लोगों की जिंदगी में, उनकी personal life में लोग चले गए थे, but not as much. I believe now it's more about the backstory, you know, मैं इस घर से हूँ, मैं, you know, मेरी माँ क्या करती है, मेरे पिताजी क्या करते हैं. It's all about those things. So, although it's, you know, it makes it more interesting and more personalized, but I feel like the whole aspect of just जो एक reality, the singing, whatever, I think कभी-कभी वो चीज खो जाती है. At least, you know, it's because as human beings, we're emotional. So if we see something that's emotional, then I think we react accordingly. So maybe sometimes even a mediocre performance will seem like, oh wow, this is, you know, because of वो एक दिमाग में चीज होती है. We're all human, right? I think if you remember that there was that lady who was singing on the train tracks. उसका नाम याद नहीं है. Himesh had given her a break. So she was good, but to compare her to Lata ji, I mean, you know, it's like वो एक बहुत अलग लीग की चीज है. But having been good and being in a situation she was, लोगों का दिल उनकी तरफ और ज्यादा, you know, how do I say? I don't want to say that they were more emotional, but एक वो, I don't even want to say they are. लेकिन you know what I'm trying to say, एक connection उनके साथ ज्यादा बन गया था कि चलो उनके लिए this opportunity will lead them out of it. So I think those are the major changes. Talent-wise, I mean, I think हमारे देश में talent की कोई कमी नहीं है. If you watch these छोटे-छोटे बच्चे all the way to the adults, there's no limit of talent. But I think what you make out of that is what really matters in today's age.
Amit, you called it as evolution, but I would like to contest that word. Primarily because Amit Kumar came out from the episode and
Yeah.
he spoke exclusively to me at E-Times, saying that he was asked by the channel to praise the contestants only, just praise.
Right.
Now this opened up a Pandora's box,
Right.
can of worms, if I can use that word. And people started asking questions that if the judges are meant to only praise, because I remember speaking to Sunidhi Chauhan also after some time, after the Amit Kumar episode. She said that she also had a problem because till season number 6, which is when she quit,
Yeah.
there was nothing like this कि praise करना ही है. But there came a time when इस तरह से बोलो, इस तरह से मत बोलो. If judges are going to be cheerleaders,
I see. I
what are you
believe
judging?
the whole aspect of being a judge is कि आप कहीं ना कहीं impartiality आपकी होनी चाहिए. You should be impartial, but see, again, we're human. So although for your duty, it's to be impartial, but it's human. It's just very common कि आपको शायद एक कंटेस्टेंट ज्यादा अच्छा लगता है, उनकी आवाज अच्छी लगती है, उनकी वॉइस क्वालिटी अच्छी लगती है, तो हो सकता है जो सामने वाले जज को अच्छा ना लगता हो, maybe to you it's something, music is something very subjective. There's some people that will say wow, and then some people will say no, but
नहीं यार, लेकिन
I do agree.
तीनों जज कुछ भी क्रिटिसिज्म नहीं दे रहे हैं सारे कंटेस्टेंट्स को.
मैं यही पॉइंट बोलने वाला था कि आजकल जो मैंने देखा है, जो पहले बिल्कुल नहीं होता था, and I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I also feel like kabhi I don't feel that every single performance is up to the mark in certain aspects, and I feel like they're just giving positive comments. So yes, वो aspect होता है, and I'm sure at some level कुछ ना कुछ channels का, see, end of the day everybody is doing it. What is the main game, Vicky? The main game, मुझे लगता है, being a part of so many reality shows is ratings. We have to get ratings. So how do we get ratings? उनकी टीम होती है, कोई ये सोचता है कि oh, we should being too negative, people get turned off by that. So I mean, maybe that's a strategy, but then to call it a reality show is then probably not what you should do. Matlab, it should be a fiction-based reality show probably, because at the end of the day, audience को अगर चीज अच्छी लगती है तो वो vote करेंगे.
Just call it musical nights, I would say.
Yeah, and no, at the same time, I don't even know, do people really still go out there and vote in today's day and age? I mean, I don't know. I know हमारे season में तो भर के लोगों ने किया था, because again, it was very novel, it was a one of its kind. But अभी एक साथ 10 reality shows, किस को vote करते जाओगे? I mean, I don't know if that's the case. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I just think now it's become, see, the main motive is to make money. The main motive is to get ratings. अब ratings कैसे मिलेंगे? वो जो कुर्सी पे बैठ के जो डिसीजंस लेने, वो उनको सोचना पड़ता है. बिकॉज अगर चीज नहीं चलेगी तो हम उनको ब्लेम करेंगे कि यार देखो ये आप क्या प्रोडक्ट दे रहे हो, हमके तो चली नहीं. बट जब रेटिंग अच्छी मिलेगी तो ऑब्वियसली they'll get a promotion and things will keep going. So we have to kind of put ourselves in their shoes as well. That's why from the outside it's easy हमारे लिए कहना कि it doesn't come across real, which I agree.
What you're saying is it works. But इसके पीछे भी एक कहानी है कि अब तक ऑडियंस को शायद पता नहीं था. अमित कुमार के कहने के बाद ऑडियंस को पता चला, और सोशल मीडिया पे जो बरसात हुई है कमेंट्स की कि ये क्या हो रहा है, उसके बाद ही तो उनको पता चला.
बट उसके बाद क्या आपने कुछ फर्क देखा रेटिंग्स में?
That's a very good question. But I can tell you there was superb talent. There was superb talent in this show. So to answer your question, I would say that, there was superb talent in this show. There is no denying that this country has immense talent. But are we tapping it in the right way? Because
No.
if you are not even tapping the contestant and telling him, यार ऐसे मत करो, ऐसे करो, उसको आप
बिल्कुल.
बताओगे नहीं, तो फिर कौन बताएगा उसको?
बिल्कुल. बस मुझे क्या लगता है कि पहले क्या होता था, हर एक छोटी चीज को लेके, लाइक the smallest of minute things जो ऑडियंस को सुनते वक्त बोला ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, मतलब इनको अच्छा नहीं लगा क्या, अरे आपने जो वहां पे सांस ली थी तो वो गलत ले लिया आपने. इट्स लाइक डूड, आप जरा स्टेज पे आइए और आप भी वही कीजिए. आई वांट टू सी, कम ऑन, कम आप भी. I mean, मेरे दिमाग में ऐसे बहुत वक्त ऐसा चलता था, because now, because of training myself and obviously getting into the music scene in a more deeper sense, उस वक्त तो मैं कच्चे अंडे की तरह था, बट अभी थोड़ा पका पकाया हूँ. सो आई फील लाइक बहुत वक्त ऐसा होता था, बहुत बार ऐसा होता कि यार ये किस चीज पे मेरे, आई मीन जब आपने ठीक नहीं गाया तो सब पता चलता है, बट कभी कभी इट फेल्ट लाइक बस उंगलीबाजी करनी है, कुछ छेड़खानी करनी है तो कर रहे हैं. सो आई थिंक दैट इज व्हाट दे प्रोबेबली गॉट अवे फ्रॉम, कि हाँ कोई एकदम बिखर गया या एकदम लाइंस भूल गया और सब, सो देन इट्स वेरी ऑब्वियस आपको कुछ कहना पड़ेगा. सो आई थिंक दैट इज अ बिग डिफरेंस फ्रॉम द प्रीवियस जो मैंने सीजन्स जो किए भी हैं और जो देखे भी हैं, कि I don't want to call them फालतू के negative comments, but it's like सिर्फ कहने के लिए कुछ कह रहे हो. There's some people out there जो
I get you. What you are trying to convey with this whole thing is that the correct balance has not been struck. पहले बहुत ज्यादा था, अभी बिल्कुल ये हार्डली,
अभी एकदम कम कर दिया कि सब अच्छा गा रहे हैं, सब बढ़िया कर रहे हैं, सब कल के सुपरस्टार्स हैं, और it's one of those things. So I feel like that also is not proper, because then how do you differentiate? Then it's literally like, मतलब ठीक है ये मुझे अच्छा लगता है, ये मुझे अच्छा लगता है.
Did Indian Idol provide you a good, strong, solid stage for your career where you are today?
So I think Indian Idol definitely provided me a platform. Now again, in my case I'm different from the other contestants, because उस वक्त मेरी जिंदगी में music was एक सीढ़ी थी, and not even say एक diversion था to be able to maybe get more into acting or to take music more seriously, जो बाद में जाके हुआ. But at the time I was doing it, उस वक्त तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि it's a platform to be able to be seen by many. जो I think every artist, सबसे main goal उनका यही होता है, you want to be seen. If you're not seen, then it doesn't matter, right? If you post a video on YouTube और उसको कोई देखता नहीं है, भले वो बहुत अच्छा हो, if the algorithms don't pick it up, then it's worth nothing, right? So to me, all of these people get a platform, but it's manipulated as well. I mean, अगर मैं अपनी तरफ से बोलूं, I know Pavandeep has performed. I've seen him in so many times performing here in Mumbai clubs, but they give you a look. So I'm saying be real. It's a fictionalized reality show, and I'm okay with that, because the general audience isn't. But being a part of them, मुझे पता कि कहीं ना कहीं ये थोड़ा सा 19-20 चीजें चलती हैं. मतलब ये कहना कि वो वहां से, ठीक है वो वहां से है, लेकिन literally मतलब टोपी पहना के, the whole thing was कि he's a pahadi, that, but yeah, but he's been living in this city for the longest time, doing stage shows here. So I mean, and he's also won, इससे पहले भी reality shows I think जीत चुका है या कुछ किया हुआ है. So I just think be real. I mean, and if not, then the audience eventually उनको क्या लगेगा कि हर चीज fake है, जो नहीं है. There's a lot of good जो in reality show से निकल के आती है, पर क्या है, एक बार किसी चीज में थोड़ा सा वो गंदगी आ जाए या झूठ या फरेब आ जाए ना, ऑडियंस को ये लगता है कि हर चीज फेक है. मतलब फिर तो लोग सोचेंगे ये तो असली गा ही नहीं रहे, उन्होंने रिकॉर्ड करके कुछ किया होगा और अभी स्टेज पे आके ऑटो ट्यून लगा के ऐसा किया होगा, which is not true a lot of times. Maybe sometimes it is true, but I feel like be real, because if you're real with the audience at some level, obviously कुछ secrets तो हर किसी चीज में होती है.
Talk about the word manipulation. What exactly are you trying to say by that?
Manipulation in a sense is, I had read in between, कुछ लोग कहते थे, actually some very big singers जिनका I shouldn't take their name, but I had read कि they were saying कि the performances pre-recorded थे. They were pre-recorded, but they're showing off like it's live,
of the contestants.
Of some contestants or some shows. I don't want to get into the actual, because मुझे पूरा detail नहीं पता, but I know that a very big singer of our country यही कह रहे थे कि बहुत सारे shows में वो pre-recorded गा रहे हैं. तो pre-recorded गाने में तो then what about the nervous energy? What about all of those? मतलब एक track पे गाना, I mean, a lot of times now they're singing live with the band, but अगर वो सब चीजें नहीं है, then that's a big advantage. But to go and sing in a studio is very different from singing live to an audience, you know. Um, and I think most singers who are worth their salt, उनको पता चलता है कि ये live गा रहा है या, you know, studio में गा रहा है or whatever, certain things.
I just hope that's not happening in any of the singing shows. How are you doing today as far as music is concerned, work is concerned, quality, quantity? What are your projects which you are currently engaged with? What are your future plans? We really want to know.
So for me, I think this is a very interesting stage in my career. I have not done a television show for the last, I think, 2 years now. I completed a whole album. I've done 2 videos prior to the lockdown. मैंने 2 videos भी shoot कर लिए थे उस album के. And now I've started doing a lot of, I've started this YouTube channel where I just, जो मुझे popular गाने अच्छे लगते हैं, पुराने गाने भी होंगे, रफ़ी के होंगे, किशोर जी के होंगे, anybody, I put them out there and I give them my touch, because there's no sense of me just copy pasting जो किसी ने गाया है और मैं बस वो repeat करके गा दूं. So I want to add my flavor. And by God's grace, I think अभी तक मैंने कुछ 20 गाने ऐसे निकाले हैं, and I think I've recorded, God, maybe 120, 130 songs like this. So मेरे पास बहुत बड़ा stock अब हो गया गानों का to just release, so that there's a constant touch with my audience from music. Because मैंने अपने career में क्या देखा था कि मैं जब भी acting की तरफ जाता था तो the singing would suffer, and जब मैं singing की तरफ जाता था, it's just I wasn't able to balance both. So now I feel like I put that much work in my music and that much effort in my music कि it's now very natural to me. Like कभी-कभी तो मैं सोचता हूँ कि काश अभी ऐसा कोई reality show मेरे पास होता, or if Indian Idol was now, I feel like it would be a very different ball game altogether. Because उस वक्त तो I'll tell you, मुझे तो stage पे भी गाना नहीं आता था. I didn't know how to hold a mic. मतलब ऐसा होता था mic पे गाते-गाते, because I wouldn't, मतलब stage experience ही नहीं था. And the moment I learned that, and I learned music, I've been learning music from Mohammed Tahir ji, who is Sonu Nigam's teacher, one of the best teachers. मतलब I would recommend them to anybody who's up and coming, because वो आपकी आवाज को, मतलब anybody that hears me now and says, यार क्या कर रहे हो? You are working so hard. I see the difference. So I'm like, it's me, it's my effort, but it's the guidance of somebody. जो, you know, because it's like if you're working out but आप गलत चीजें कर रहे हो, you're more prone to injury. So, but if you're doing it properly and you're putting the effort, it works. So that's very good. My music space, I'm very happy with. And I feel independent music is so good now. Vicky, this is the first year जहाँ पे independent music Bollywood से ज़्यादा popular है इस साल में. Yes, COVID की वजह से या जो भी, but it's a big achievement. कभी हमारे देश में ऐसा वक्त भी था कि pop music लोग कहते हो गया बस खत्म. You know, that's it, finished. Now it's only film music. But this is the first year जहाँ पे pop music has actually overtaken, and it's ridiculous to think कि हमारे देश में सिर्फ 5 लोग हैं जो अच्छा गा सकते हैं और बाकी सब बस बैठ जाओ. So it's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous to think that. And I think that stigma has now been broken, that there's only 5 good singers, there's only 5 good actors. You can't only have, it's like, अगर music है, to me has to be a buffet. मुझे buffet चाहिए, मुझे, और वो भी वो जो बड़ी-बड़ी शादियों में 100 dishes मिल रहे हैं. Why is it I'm only going to have, ये नहीं है 5 आपको मिलेंगे, आप इसमें से चुन लीजिए आपको क्या खाना है. No, I think music is taking that type of a scene.
तो एक्टिंग का क्या प्रोग्राम है अमित? अभी आप एक्टिंग करेंगे या नहीं करेंगे? व्हाट्स द प्लान?
नहीं, of course. देखो, मैंने कभी अपने आप को उस हिसाब से restrict नहीं किया है. I can't say yes or no to television or this, that. And I never want to be the type to say I never would look down on it. But at the same time, I just don't want to do something just for the sake of doing it.
To conclude, I must ask you, this whole daily ruckus of life, there is one person whom you were very close to, or at least your wife was very close to, Mouni Roy. And she seems to have broken off ties with you all, or you all have broken off ties with her. What exactly has happened?
Mouni who?
Mouni Roy, who's acted in movies like Gold, who's acted in movies like Raw. She's doing Brahmastra.
देखो, I know I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but as I've said in my life, I usually don't give a shit. So even now, I don't give a shit. That was one of the most, and I know till this day, Ruby will never say it, but I know that really took a lot out of her. I feel like that girl used my wife when she felt like she was whatever she was. I guess कहीं ना कहीं हमें भी लगता था कि वो बहुत genuine है, लेकिन जब रूबी उस सिचुएशन में, उस मुसीबत में थी, तो उस वक्त पे उसने उसका साथ छोड़ दिया. And for stupid reasons, I don't know, maybe it was her budding or what she felt was a budding Bollywood career. I don't know how budding it is now, but the reality is कि जैसे लोगों के चेहरे बदलते हैं, I feel like the Mouni that we knew, or the person that we knew years back, it was a different face. And the new face you see, I don't know that person. So that's, to me, that's not Mouni Roy. That's somebody else. Or maybe that's a person that's also named Mouni Roy. That's not the person that we know. And at one time, I looked at her as a sister. But I don't think I would ever want to see her face ever again in my life. Because the pain that she put, someone who literally, when I say वो अपनी शादी भी तोड़ देती रूबी मेरे साथ मोनी के लिए, मतलब that was how much Ruby did for her, and Mouni knows what she's done for her. She's hurt that woman's soul. Like, I don't think now Ruby will ever get close to anybody else in her life, you know. And just to let Miss Roy know, you left her because you felt she was at a zero and she was nobody. She's bigger today than she was even then. And by God's grace, all of her good karams and all of her good, she's just an amazing soul. Matlab, I think Ruby is a fantastic soul. I've seen her do things for people, go out of her way for people that, frankly, बताऊं, मैं तो कभी नहीं करता और कर भी नहीं पाता. And she does that for people, and that's not out of any selfish intent. You know, actors बहुत selfish होते हैं, हम बहुत selfish होते हैं. हम वो सिर्फ हमारे बारे में सोचना है, बाद में किसी और के बारे में सोचना है. और मैं खुल के बोलता हूँ, और जो ऐसा बोलता है कि ऐसा नहीं है, वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं. Ruby is the most selfless person I've ever met in my life. She will sacrifice the food on her plate for somebody else. And for that person to be treated the way that Mouni treated her, to me, there's no forgiveness for that. There's no forgiveness for that. And I've told Ruby very clearly, अगर वो कभी वापस तुम्हारी जिंदगी में आने की कोशिश करे और तुमने उसको एक्सेप्ट किया, मैं गया, मैं तो नहीं रहूंगा फिर. Because I cannot afford to have that kind of a thing in my life again. And it's not only her, Vicky, there's been a lot of people in our life that I perceived, it's like क्या सोचा, and they always say ना, बुरे वक्त पे आपको पता चलता है कि कौन आपके साथ है और कौन नहीं. और ये आज मैं लिटरली 3 साल बाद बोल रहा हूँ, पर बहुत सारे लोग थे जो मुझे लगता था कि यार ये हमारे साथ खड़े रहेंगे. And they literally looked through us. They looked through us when they saw, oh, इसने तो अपनी Mercedes बेच दी, इसने अपना घर बेच दिया, इसका क्लिनिक बंद हो गया, इसका ये चला गया, वो चला. I didn't see sorrow. I felt, you know, it's like तमाशा देख रहे हैं. And जिन लोगों से मुझे उम्मीद भी नहीं थी, and they know who they are, they stepped up to a very different level. Like, I hold them in a very high esteem. They say ना, that's what I'm saying, बुरे वक्त में आपको पता चलता है कि आप असली कौन है, नकली कौन है. Because in a good time, everybody wants to party with you. Everybody wants to have a drink with you. Everybody wants to, you know, jig and jag with you. But when you have nobody and when you have nothing, that's when you know who's really there. And मैंने सपनों में भी नहीं सोचा कि वो ऐसा होगा, but it's good. I think we've let all of the trash out of our life, and I mean that in every sense. And now we will live the life the way we can. Utar chadhav honge, but and I think we've been through everything. We've been through matlab, you cannot break us anymore now. We've gone through the whole roller coaster. So we're just going to enjoy the ride now.
The interview will be incomplete, Amit, if I don't discuss Sidharth Shukla with you, somebody whom we lost in the recent past. It was an extremely unfortunate demise. Did you know him?
I knew Sidharth. I wasn't very close to him. Lekin, as you can tell, हम दोनों workout करते हैं. और I remember working out in the same gym with him, and I was always thinking. I think he had always looked at me like, ये अच्छा खासा weight उठाता है, and I'm like, he's a big guy. This is a लंबा चौड़ा weight उठाता है. So there was always like एक mutual सा एक वैसा था हम दोनों के बीच like that. But to be very honest, उसके बाद मैंने कहीं maybe audition में कहीं देखा होगा this and that. But the last time I'd seen him was in Big Boss. Hatta katta, young, otherwise a person, and who's never really had these type of issues. And achanak bas, that's it. So it scares the hell out of you. I mean, मैं तो झूठ भी नहीं बोलूंगा. I planned to go get my scan done.
Thank you for this interview, Amit. I wish you all the best for your future assignments. It was a pleasure talking to you from here at E Times TV.
Cheers, Vicky. All the best.